Don't become a pussy bitch and go behind their back. And then, oh, I also wrote a giant message to Twitch to get Phil in trouble because he's a scammer and all. Fuck you. So now, because you didn't get your way, right, which is ridiculous, you could have got your money back easily. Instead, now you're going to try to get me in trouble and take away my livelihood and get me in trouble. Fuck you. That's what I mean. Like, that's such underhanded, backhanded, little, just pathetic stuff that a coward and a pussy does. It is. This is what you do. If you can't handle your own business, you go behind someone's back to try to fuck them over. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of people being like that to me. My whole life, essentially, and people who I trusted, who I thought were my friends doing it to me, and now someone who supposedly was a longtime supporter doing it to me. Fuck off. Enough. You just, all you did by doing it like that was expose yourself of being the fucking coward and pussy you are, and I had enough of it. Like, I'm just not gonna have those kind of people in my life anymore, okay? And this is the truth. If anyone has issues with me, go ahead and air them. Be upfront with me. Let me know what's going on if you're upset with me for some reason. But don't do that stuff behind my back. That's not right. You're over $20, over $20. You're gonna say, oh, I'm gonna now report Phil and hopefully he gets banned from Twitch. Fuck you. No, really, fuck you. You know this is the only way I can make money, so go fuck yourself. Oh.
Choose your fighter.
LAKEY inspired. Fight.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newsroom and welcome to the Goutopia News Network, your unreliable source for DSP News. This is the Snort Report, second edition. Special edition. Shit! Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys are doing well. And interesting times. Interesting times. So I'm still kind of in a catch-up mode. Get it? Catch up. Alright, sorry. Bad joke. Anyway, kind of just catching up on what the situation is. I know Paul will appreciate that joke. But I'm kind of trying to just get reacquainted. The Snort Report will be back in full effect very soon. Especially coming to like the end of October and whatnot. So that should be a thing. And yeah, a lot to go over. Today, we're here with one of our favorites. Mrhuth Stuffs, DarkSydePhil, PlanetJeff, and others. This is from October 15th of 2019. Now, to make the long and short of it, PlanetJeff got doxxed. PlanetJeff, before he got doxxed, at least so what I've seen so far, is that he went under another name, which is pretty much the same name that he already was. He talked some hot shit, whatever the case may be. He ended up getting somebody's attention, and they got him. Now, it's I guess it is what it is. Like when you play on that level like that, you just, there's no need to be antagonizing people like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you already have a bunch of people kind of basically making the claims that you're using your deceased wife's insurance money to give money to Phil, which is already kind of egregious. But now you're trying to tell them to fuck off, this, that, and the third, fuck the haters, fuck the trolls and detractors, yada, yada, yada. Someone was eventually going to leap on that. So that is what it is. So I assume this video here is a compilation talking about the PlanetJeff situation as well as other people. A lot of it comes down to Phil. It comes down to DSP himself, because you're supposed to be protecting PlanetJeff. Now, granted, PlanetJeff's his own man. He's in his, like, late 30s, in his 40s, something like that. I don't know. I just took a quick look at what Kiwi Farms had on him, and I kind of moved on. But he's a grown-ass dude. You know what I'm saying? So I can't throw this all on Phil and say, oh, you should have been protecting your pay piggy, or you know what I'm saying? But Phil was the one talking about, oh, I'm going out of my way to keep you guys safe and this, that, and the third. I mean, maybe you should have told him to not antagonize a situation like this. It didn't work out well for him. Now, I don't think Jeff cares because they were going to find him sooner than later. So maybe it is what it is. But if this is Jeff's way of trying to get attention, this isn't the way to go about it, quite obviously. But this also kind of re-establishes the point that you don't need to give Phil money to make him move the way you want him to move. At the end of the day, Phil Burnell, DSP, DarkSydePhil, is Dark Geppetto. He spends all his time maneuvering all these little kids to do whatever he wants and so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, just because he's the puppet master for them doesn't mean that he's still not a puppet. And as any puppet, he can be manipulated too. You just got to find out what his triggers are. And you can do that without giving him money. You should guys talk to LSB. He'll tell you all about that. It's a thing. But now you have a pay piggy who's now put himself into the limelight, so to speak. Which he's not the first pay piggy to get exposed like this. He won't be the last. The question is when are they going to learn? You know what I'm saying? And PlanetJeff was kind of playing it smart there for a little while. Like, think of Golden Colts, for example. He's someone who comes in, he moderates, I think. He supports the streams every once in a while. He talks a little bit in the chat and he's out. He doesn't involve himself in any of this extra shit because he knows where it's going to lead. I think you would think following his example that would make sense. Swaggins, as far as I know, hasn't been doxxed, so he's lucky he walked out with as much as he did. But then I think worse than getting doxxed was Phil ain't sat there and basically publicly executed his ass. That should be kind of humiliating. You should think highly. You should think a little bit more of yourself than let Phil Burnell sit there and humiliate you like that in front of all those people. But whatever, if you ain't got no pride about it, you ain't got no pride about it. But not everybody gets lucky, and they obviously found the trail, and that's how they found out who Jeff was. So Phil, in a lot of ways, doesn't give a shit about any of these people. He isn't trying to protect anybody. He's just trying to get the most money out of you guys as possible. Phil knows that shit like this was going to come down. He knew. He follows Kiwi Farms, so he probably follows Kiwi Farms closer than most people that are in his little circles over there. He knew exactly what was happening. It is what it was. He can be mad about it all he want, but he knew what was going on, and he should have told him to back off. Did you not learn anything from the Brightside Viking situation? Guess not. And like I said, I was always surprised that Swaggins never went off the handle and tried to go over there on Kiwi Farms and start some shit up. It's a good thing he didn't, but even still, you would think you would learn at this point. Either which way, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get into the broadcast. Should be interesting. It is what it is, to be honest with you. And yeah, this is the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, that Phil doesn't have friends. This is the reason why he doesn't have people around him. This is the reason why he's a rather lonely individual. And it's really because, in a strange type of way, he empowers people in all of the wrong ways. And in doing so, it causes them to go off the handle and do silly shit like this that benefits nobody. You're not proving any more of your loyalty to Phil by doing this, and you're only putting yourself in harm's way for no good reason. None at all. If you're gonna be a pay pig or be a whale, shut the fuck up and be a whale or be a pay pig. You know what I'm saying? Don't sit there and try to include yourself into this situation that Phil has made for himself if you can't damn near pull him out. Because in a lot of ways, they can't even pull themselves out. Either which way. That's just my opinion. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go into the broadcast, and I'll see you guys literally in just a second. Maybe. We'll see. You know how I do.
I guess we'll see what happens this coming week because my wife actually is getting some time off from work. She's actually getting some vacation time, which is a nice thing. And getting the vacation time that she's going to get, it means that she'll be here pretty much every day for the next week to week and a half. I'm not exactly sure 100% on dates. I haven't really messed around with that yet. I just know that she's going to be here kind of for the entire next week. So actually, I don't know if Jasper will be on streams this coming week or not. The reason I say that is usually he comes in here when Cat's not home. I leave my office door open. Now, this house is very...
Now, first thing is, let's go ahead and reintroduce ourselves, shall we? We're here with one of our favorites, Mrhuth Stuff, DarkSydePhil, PlanetJeff, and others from October 15th of 2019. Now, Catherine's on vacation. Yeah, it is a nice thing, Phil, that, you know, you work, you accumulate some vacation time, and you take some time off. Not everybody can be at home and treat every day like a drunken stupor. So, yeah, it's kind of a nice thing. Secondly, this woman is your wife, you live with her, and you don't know how much vacation time she has? A week and a half, 2 weeks? Is it an extended vacation? Is this maternity leave? Do you not know anything that goes on in your fucking life? It's funny how he can tell us how people like brain dead idiots like myself, you know, spurgs like myself, what we're thinking at all times and how we act and what kind of losers we are. And he can talk about PewDiePie's money and Ninja's money and how they're fucking idiots, and he can call a bunch of people out on Twitter and on Twitch spurgs, or not spurgs, shills, and sellouts and so on and so forth. And he can tell us all those years ago about how iJustine was getting gang banged in the EA offices. But yet he can't even tell us what's going on with his own wife and how much vacation time this chick has. He didn't even have to actually tell us how much vacation he had. He could have been like, hey, my wife has some vacation. That's why you guys aren't going to see Jasper for a while. End of story. He's the one who decided to be precise about it and talk about actual days. Hence the reason why I'm making an emphasis on it. In any case, excuse me. So that's the first problem. Second of all, who gives a shit when Jasper shows up and when he don't? You got your $2,000 for him. When he pop up, he pop up. When he don't, he don't. All you're going to do is hit him with a spray bottle while he's next to the electronics anyway, which is either going to get him hurt or it's going to damage the electronics. Who gives a shit? To be honest. I mean, did he get declawed? Did you declaw his back claws now and that's a thing? Who gives a shit? So, it is what it is on that. I will say that her going on vacation is kind of sudden. You would think, I would think, she would actually wait until like closer to the holidays. Maybe around, you know, maybe somewhere between the November-December mark. Maybe. Or maybe even after Christmas, if you will. But maybe she has a lot of vacation time racked up. So maybe that's the thing. On top of that, her taking vacation when she did, or when she's doing it in October, leads to my theory that she could be pregnant. And if so, my apologies, maybe that has something to do with it too, but then obviously it wouldn't be a week or so. It'd be a whole lot longer than that, depending on how, if she is pregnant, how far she worked up till term. So those are some things too that we're going to throw out there, and we'll see if any of that actually gets expanded upon as we're going through this. Interesting stuff. Not really, but it could be though. It could be. So let's go ahead and get with it.
Very echoey. If I have my door open, you can hear me talking throughout the entire house. Like downstairs, across the house, you can hear me talking in my office if I have my door open. So when I do my late night,
yeah, if I was pig squealing at the top of my voice, I'm sure people could hear me too. No need for it. And which is another interesting thing too. Remember how he said that, oh, I can't vacuum my house at night because my neighbors would hear it? But he can go ahead and yell, with his windows open, by the way. He can go ahead and yell at the top of his voice and do all that spurging he does during some of his game playthroughs, and none of his neighbors hear it. And even if they were at work and they don't hear it until, you know, the chill streams, sometimes he gets kind of uppity in them chill streams too. Sometimes he spurgs out a little bit. So it doesn't make too much of a difference. And if that's being the case also, you're telling me this idiot can't close his windows while he's vacuuming his office? And if Catherine's schedule is kind of all over the place, when does she have time to clean up and not cause a bunch of noise? Sounds real strange, man. Real strange.
Streams and Cat's not home, Cat's at work, then I leave the door open so that way I can have a stream where he can come in and he can you know, interact and relax with us on stream. But if Cat's home, I usually keep the door closed because she doesn't want to hear me gabbing all night. You know, she does her own thing. Sometimes she plays games. Sometimes she does other stuff around the house. She doesn't want to hear me yapping.
She can't. She has her own office, doesn't she? She can't close her door. Just throwing it out there.
So I don't know. I'm not sure if Jasper will be joining us. You know, for the next week to week and a half. I guess we're gonna see what happens here. The good news is, because Kat doesn't have work, that means good food every day. It literally means that either she'll be cooking or I'll be cooking every day, rather than us trying to do quick stuff on days when she has to get to work. And that means good meals, good stuff. She even said she wanted to try new recipes and stuff, so I'm pumped for that.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense, because if it's going to mean good food, right, because either she's going to cook or you're going to cook, shouldn't you be cooking every day if you know she has to go into work early? So shouldn't you be eating well either which way? How come it's all of a sudden it's good eating now that she's off? And then you throw on the caveat at the end of that, oh, there's a bunch of new recipes that she wants to try, which only solidifies that she's the one who's actually doing all the cooking. You're not doing shit. So why would you even throw yourself in there? Like anybody would believe that you know how to cook anyway. The reason why I say that is because you've admitted as such. You have admitted as much that you don't know how to cook, or you certainly don't know how to cook well, right? And you're very limited in what you can or cannot do. Hence the reason why you needed Catherine in the first place. I don't know. It's a small detail, but still, that's what I do. I point out small details.
Starting tomorrow for sure. So yeah, in fact, tomorrow she's making a brand new recipe, chicken cacciatore, which we never made before. Chicken cacciatore. It's an Italian dish. Look it up. We're trying it for the first time tomorrow. Okay. So anyway, yes, Jasper does eat with us. Usually when we go to eat dinner together, Massive Steak, he'll come into the kitchen with us, and then he'll walk, and when we're sitting at the dining room table, we're like, well, don't come up here now. You know, we're eating, but what we'll do is we'll put some food down in his dish, and he'll go eat as well while we're eating. So we all kind of eat together as a family, which is nice. No, we do not feed Jasper human food at all. The only exception is if Kat is making something that has an ingredient that is food for cats. So, for example, the other day she made tuna salad to make some sandwiches for her break at work. And when she was making the tuna salad, she let Jasper lick the can of tuna that had the leftovers in. That's the kind of stuff. We do not feed him human food at all. That would be a big no-no. We don't want him to become an overweight cat. Okay? Let me go ahead and... Oh, shit. I can't fish and update the leaderboard at the same time. It's too complicated for a simple human like me. I fuck everything up. Two actions at once. That's like rubbing your stomach and your head at the same time, or like walking while doing something or reading a book or something. I can't do it. Froggins just cheered and said, "You seem like you have a passion for food when you talk about it. You think when streaming has run its course, your next job will be in the culinary industry. Considering that I have holy shit! That was
No, it won't, because most business owners, especially those who are in the restaurant business, know how to cook themselves. Most. The ones who don't at least have an eye for talent, or whoever their co-owner is, for example, has an eye for talent. If you watch like Restaurant Rescue and stuff like that, you kind of see what I'm talking about. Or the one that Gordon Ramsay does and shit. He doesn't... His palate isn't diversified enough. You know what I'm saying? He thinks he knows what's good and he thinks he knows what doesn't, but that comes down to a more personal preference. Whereas he needs to, when you're, as a restaurant owner, you need to think about what's good to the masses. You know what I mean? You have to be able to, you have to have a level of versatility, because it's not about you. It's about what other people might find interesting too, and then you have to diversify your menu as such. If you keep a menu that's very rigid and whatnot, you're only going to attract a certain type of clientele, if you will, and that's all you'll pretty much have. It'll be harder and harder for you to expand. But then again, that's, you know what I'm saying, there's a bunch of pluses and minuses in that, and there's a bunch of variables. If this is going to go the way I think it is, he wants to focus on Italian cuisine in general. Okay, well, what part of Italy is he going to actually focus on? You know what I'm saying? Like, depending on the region, all of that is different. Now, Phil may or may not know that. But for anybody like myself who's had a lot of Italian food, you do know that. You know what I'm saying? And so everything tastes a little bit different. He can tell you about pizza and all this shit till the cows come home. Good for him. But it's a bit more diversified than that. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be able to balance that on top of ingredients, how to get things fresh, how much are you willing to pay to get things fresh, how much are you willing to get in cans. There's a bunch of shit that goes into that. There's a bunch of variables. He'd be a horrible boss. He really would. Because he's going to bleed in that type of business. Like in any business, to be honest with you, when you start up, the first couple of years, don't expect to make a profit. And for Phil, look at him now. You think he can go 3 years with his own business and not make a profit? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, just at a minimum. It would close almost as quickly as it started. He'd literally bleed his parents dry to keep it up and running.
Cool. Considering that I have absolutely no experience whatsoever in the culinary industry, I'll never be able to afford formal training, nor will I ever be able to get enough life experience to be good at it. The answer is probably no. Like, well, I told you,
never tried. How hard is it, ladies and gentlemen, to either download a cooking app or buy a couple of cookbooks and try them at home? Oh, I don't know. People have brought this up to him before. Oh, I don't know, because if it comes out bad, then I wasted my time. It's called an experiment. Just like how you play games and you're mad because you don't get the results you want. It's not necessarily because the game is bad, and at times it could be, but it's not necessarily because the game is bad. It's sometimes you're just bad at it. Or maybe you're just a shitty fucking streamer or entertainer or whatever you want to call yourself. Yet again, there's going to be trials and errors and everything. But see, Phil don't believe in that. He believes that whatever he does, he has to be great at it so he can keep doing it.
you guys, one of the ideas that I had,
an immediate payoff, if you will.
I wanted to do in my life at one point was save up enough money for my
return on investment. Okay, I'll stop.
YouTube days back in the day when I used to make money on YouTube to open my own business, and one of the things I was considering was some kind of a restaurant. I don't know what it would have been, if it would have been like a chain restaurant, if it would have been like a local restaurant, or my own business that I completely invented myself, but that probably would have been like my culinary experience as being an owner of a restaurant and then relying on the expertise of the people who I hired to run said restaurant to do the right things, because I don't know much about it. But
then that sets you up to get taken advantage of, because it's not like you have, it's bad enough that you're not willing to learn how to cook or kind of diversify yourself when it comes to the field that you want to go into, which is he wants to go into the culinary field. But then you also have terrible business acumen too. And in a situation like that, if you have to depend on other people to do it right, then obviously you should probably hire another manager. Hopefully he would do that. Someone with culinary experience. But on top of that, they can essentially dictate their terms because you don't know anything. So your own ignorance would work against you and would cost you quite a bit. Now granted, if it pays off and you can build up some type of rapport, then everybody makes money and then it's all gravy for everything. But if not, if you come in there being an asshole, then they can be assholes too. And they can charge you, or they can basically demand however much they want, on top of demand the best of everything for them to keep doing what they're doing to keep you open. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not like you can just replace somebody else like that on the fly. That can be difficult, especially someone who has credible expertise, like anything else. So that's something that he should also take into consideration. He's worked for a food business at one time or another. He should understand that to at least some degree.
Like food? Yes. Do I like talking about food? Sure. Do I like eating food? Yes. Do I like cooking food? To some extent, I'm a terrible cook, but I like when Kat cooks and we can talk about stuff like that. But I do not whatsoever.
Do you talk about, have you ever thought about maybe cooking with her? Maybe you could learn as you go, which is one of the tragic things, if you will. Humor me for just a second about watching some of those old videos when Panda made meals. I have been meaning to go over those. I need to do it. I think I was going to turn that into like a gout and wine or something. But if you see how she tried to do different things, right? If his piece of shit, lazy, godforsaken asshole of an individual, if he would have just went downstairs and just did it with her, it could have been not only more of a bonding experience, but he could have actually learned something. But he didn't want that. He still don't. He believes that the woman needs to be downstairs, needs to be cooking all the meals, and needs to be cleaning the house, and so be it. If you think heating up a turkey burger is cooking, then that would be the same equivalent of, oh, is making a sandwich cooking? No, it's putting food together. It's not cooking. You know what I'm saying? Even if you were going to get extravagant with it, are you doing like a Monte Cristo or something like that? Which is a sandwich, but there's a little bit more that goes into it than that. But that's neither here nor there. Now we're starting to kind of draw at straws when we get into situations like that. But if I had to say, to any stretch of the imagination, he doesn't care about cooking because he believes it's beneath him. Why do that when you have a woman in the next room to do it? Or when he was in college and he had roommates, make them do it, which is what he did. You know what I'm saying? He threw a little bit of extra money. I think he said he threw a little bit of extra money in each week, right? And then they cooked all the meals and he came in, ate, and then he went off and did what he did. He never had any way of taking care of himself. It was either mom, his roommates, eventually Panda. Then we go through the turkey burgers and making noodles and shit and eating that with a spoon. And then eventually Catherine showed up. The man lacks any type of sense of diversity in any aspect of his life. That's why he can't do anything. That's why people clown him the way they do, because he can't do anything at all. He's absolutely fucking helpless. He's literally 10 years old. Well, not even that, because there's even 10-year-olds who knew how to cook. But he's an 8-year-old stuck in a 37-year-old's body. He's absolutely useless. And when you look at it, just at how he views the world, that proves it. It proves it. At least to some degree, anyway.
Ever have any kind of experience in food, nor will I ever tell you that I do. I don't know Jack. Okay. Okay.
He don't know Jack, but if you guys ever get a chance to, I'll do it. Actually, I'll do it. We'll go over some of those old DSP trizets. Who is it? I think it's LD is the name of the guy's channel, and he did up to, I think he did like 13 of them. The Unhealthy Lifestyle, or DSP Trizet Unhealthy Lifestyle, something like that. It's a compilation of a bunch of Phil's DSP trizets. I think he did like 13 of them. They're all about an hour long. I guess we could do a couple of those and we'll see how that works. See if I start something, I want to finish it then. We can do that. We could do that like twice. We could do those 2 Sundays a month. That'd be nice. Huh. Yeah, that could work. Like 2 Sundays a month. That'd be nice. Huh. Okay, well, I'm working something out. But if you go back and you look at those and you hear how he complained about the smallest shit, it would make one think he knew what he was talking about, or he knew what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, it's all an opinion. It is what it is. But the way he chastised the people who made his food, the people he depended on to do it, because he couldn't do it himself, it would make one think, it would give one the impression that he knew what he was talking about. And to a group of kids who are impressionable, you could kind of see why. Oh, they can look up to Phil and he knew what he was talking about. When in actuality, he's just a whiny little bitch. That's really what it comes down to. It's fast food. You get what you pay for. And everybody knows that walking into that. Just saying.
Well, holy crap, ladies and gentlemen, someone named Jeffrey just tipped me $200. I know it's early, but I think we may have found the top contributor for the night. I'm just saying, it may be pretty tough to top a $200 tip tonight as the top contribution. So thank you very much to Jeffrey, whoever you may be. So Jeffrey, I don't even know if you're aware of this, but the way we do it with my Minecraft streams is the top.
Now, this part is kind of important because this is where, I don't know if Phil even realized it or not, but this is when Phil gave PlanetJeff up, to be honest. He thought he was being slick and whatnot, and he thought he was like, oh, I'm establishing what the rules are and this is how it happens. But he never did that for anybody else. So this is when he exposed PlanetJeff, to make a long story short. And subsequently, this is why everything else happened after that. It's a thing and whatnot. And it's because Phil's greed got the best of him. And even though he got the $200, he's already trying to bait somebody else into giving him even more money. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. Like, someone's going to give him $201, and then it's just going to go like that. This isn't like giving cheers. You know what I mean? $200 is $200. There's going to be some people that are going to be reluctant to try to throw in on that, knowing they're not going to be able to beat it. But that's the second part of that coin. Oh, well, you guys can't beat it. You should still contribute. You know what I mean? And so at least you're helping to build upon that $200. Or what will be $212 in a minute. You see what I'm saying? So it's almost like, it's yet again, it's kind of like being paid to exist.
Top contributor on every Minecraft stream gets to choose something in the game world. And you get to either choose something to be named after you or named in your honor. It doesn't have to be Jeffrey. It could be named something in my game world, a name that you'd like. Or, you can actually request that I do like a building project in your honor. As long as it's nothing too insanely complicated or ridiculously unrealistic, I would consider doing it. And the things we're going to be working on today, like the statue of my cat Jasper, is actually, I screwed this up. It's $200, not $100. Holy shit. That would actually be something that, like, if let's say you wanted to do a house or a statue or something, I would do it for you. Okay? So thank you. I mean, holy shit. Insanely generous contribution. Thank you very, very, very much for that. Jeffrey, think about what you may want to do on the stream tonight. Okay? As we're playing, I'm going to be working on finishing this up, or maybe the Jasper statue more than likely. And then once that's done, you know, at the end of the night, I'm going to ask you. The thing is, Jeffrey, I don't know your name. Or in real life, like, I first of all, don't tell anyone, and I mean this.
I don't know your name in real life. What the fuck are you doing? What the hell are you doing? You're literally... He literally put the bullseye on Jeff's back. He literally did that. He literally did that. Jesus Christ. And see, that's the thing. It's reasons like this why... It's reasons like this, I'm sorry. It's reasons like this is why you can't tell Phil anything. And this is also one of the reasons why you can't orchestrate shit with Phil behind the scenes. That's why well, not every, but almost, most of the grimy shit Phil's done behind the scenes, it eventually comes out. It just eventually happens. This piece of shit here has $200. Hey, thanks for contributing. If you are the top tipper, then at the end of the night, you know what I'm saying, you can request something to be built. So think about what you want and then let me know on stream. Or if not, email me. He's going through all these extra loops, which, if I had to guess, is only giving people... It's almost enticing people to be like, well, what the hell is the deal with this? This is literally putting a wildebeest, if you will, in front of a pack of hungry lions. That's literally what Phil did. He put this guy out here to get screwed. Sorry, Jeff.
Don't tell anyone in the stream chat if
no good deed goes unpunished.
Are in the stream right now, don't say a word. Don't say, oh, that was me. Because just to forewarn you, people who do large contributions on my streams get harassed by people because they do it. So don't announce it's you. But what you could do is you could email me at DarkSydePhil@hotmail.com. Once my email updates, I'm going to get to see that it was you who sent me this.
And here's another thing, too. I just thought about this. You're sitting here telling this guy, as well as everybody else who's watching the stream, anybody who gives me large contributions is going to be harassed. And then he's surprised that no one gives him money? Or no one's been giving him any large contributions as of late? Are you fucking stupid? Yes, idiot. Go ahead and tell everybody who's on stream, hey guys, don't give me large contributions. Don't give me large supportive amounts because you're gonna get harassed. Don't do it. Just don't do it. That's basically what he said. You think you're, I don't know if you're trying to be sympathetic to him because of that or what, but in actuality, you're just fucking yourself over in the long term because you're stupid, you see. Right now, you're spending all this time trying to verify if the $200 is there, and then if I had to guess, move it to your other PayPal account, because Phil has 2 PayPal accounts, just in case you guys didn't know. so you can move it over to your second PayPal account before it gets charged back, which seems weird. Now that I think about it, which seems very, very odd, because every time PlanetJeff donates large amounts to him, he always has to check and verify it. But why? It's PlanetJeff. You already know. Like, why would that even be a cause of suspicion? I would think for as long as he's been around and for the amounts of money he's been given, he would be above approach. Why would PlanetJeff all of a sudden charge the money back? Very strange. Anyway, you want to sit here and tell this guy that you have to be extremely careful, and people who give me large amounts of money will get harassed. Why do you think the rest of the people in the chat are acting the way they do, or reacting the way they do? Why don't you think before you talk? And he sits there and talks all this shit about Detractors this, Detractors that, Tevin's fault, praise be, and so on and so forth. But yet you are the catalyst for your own problems, above all else, because you're a fucking idiot and you can't think before you talk. You can't even think before you act. Fucking moron! You moved one girl across country, and then ran her up and out, and she's doing better probably than you are now, only so you can move another chick from the Midwest over there to where you're at now? You don't realize that you have bad decision making? But now, you're going to sit there and you pretty much, as far as I'm concerned, we're not even through with the video yet, but I'm pretty confident, you ousted PlanetJeff. You put the bullseye on his back, and you dared people to come get him. Now granted, he talked his hot shit, he did what he did, it is what it is. But you didn't help. And then he's sitting there complaining now about, oh, contributions are kind of low, man, or contributions to earlier today sucked, or there wasn't a lot of people who supported tonight. But look at what you're doing to the people who do. Fucking idiot. Just a goddamn idiot.
And you'll be able to contact me via email and say, oh, look, it's me. It's the same email address that I tipped you with via PayPal, and I'd like this done in the game or whatever, okay? So there you go. All right, FYI.
Couldn't he just tell you through stream chat what he wanted? Couldn't he whisper you or some shit and make that happen? You put the bullseye on this guy's back. That's at the end of... Sorry, Jeffrey. You pay to play.
And unless someone beats you, am I foreseeing someone beating you as a tipper tonight? No.
Now, this is really fucked up, because we already listened to him basically out this guy. He basically ousts Jeffrey as PlanetJeff. But then, at least so it seems, but then you want to sit there and try to bait other people into trying to beat PlanetJeff. Or Jeffrey. Whatever. Pretty sure it's the same person. Smart move, Phil. Smart fucking move.
I'm not foreseeing someone beating a $200 tip tonight. So... we'll see what happens, but maybe by some miracle, someone will actually beat the $200 tip tonight. But FYI, it looks like right now we got a clear leader with contributions tonight. So thank you very much to Jeffrey, whoever you may be. Survive Sweet Treat is at 100-bit cheer side. Donated more. Fuck Jeffrey. Well, Survive Sweet Treat, indeed. I believe you have contributed more over the last few days on streams if you add up all the stuff you've contributed. But the way it works with these streams is the biggest one-off contribution. So a $200 tip, boom, humongous. Obviously, that's the biggest contribution of the night. Unless you beat it in one fell swoop, it's going to stay the top contribution. Okay? Survive Sweet Treat, I'm going to be honest, I saw you saying some things in stream chat like I'm greedy or something. I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, I don't understand what you're referencing. If you'd like to have a conversation, you've been a top contributor over the past few days. I don't know why you would be upset at me, because all we've had are positive interactions, so unless you weren't talking to me, fine, but I would like to know what exactly you're upset about, because to my knowledge, we were having good interactions and everything was good. So, unless you're not talking to me, I don't know what you're talking about.
That's a whole lot of cocksucking right there. That's really sad. Old Phil would have shitted on him immediately and told him to get in line or get the fuck out. But he immediately fell to his knees, prayer hands and everything, and was ready to be presented. That's despicable. That's fucking sad. Jesus Christ.
Oh, I don't want you. I grabbed this egg. I didn't want it. Survive Sweet Tree says grinding for detractors. What the hell does that mean? I'm not, trust me, I'm not streaming for the detractors. I don't give a fuck what they do. I don't care what they say. I'm here for the fans. I'm here for the people who are just going to hang out and have fun and want to see me have a good time. I'm not here for detractors, man.
But see, you having a good time isn't the centerpiece of the stream, though. Don't get me wrong, every streamer should enjoy their game, hence the reason why they're playing it. But he almost exclusively wants that to be the case. Oh, it shouldn't matter that you don't like the game. As long as I like the game, you should be happy for me and my enjoyment and just shut the fuck up and deal with it. Oh, and watch the YouTube video too. Oh, and also buy something for my Teespring. Also, go ahead and donate to my Patreon. And don't forget the cheers, sub, and tip. Just saying. That's pretty much how the routine goes.
He says, I donated a lot. It's met with indifference. I don't know what you mean by that either. I said thank you to every single time you contributed. We had a lot of conversations based around your contributions. I've told you every night, thank you very much for all your contributions. I appreciate it very much. I'm not sure what else.
Give him a nice stroke before you go to bed, Phil.
You're looking for? You know? If you mean that you wanted to get like something made in Minecraft in your honor, like, I get that, but the way that works is that you have to be the top overall contributor of the night. If I just started doing things in Minecraft willy-nilly, it kind of would be unfair to those who were the top contributors and you know, qualified, you know what I mean, to get something in the game made after them. You haven't come to me and asked for anything outside of just shout-outs, so I don't know what you're getting at.
This is, you know what this really sounds like to me, now that I think about it? This looks like, this sounds like King Tut all over again. That's kind of what this sounds like. It sounds like King Tut all over again.
You want to be transparent and upfront and talk about it? I'm willing to talk about it tonight and we can figure it out. Obviously, I don't want anyone who's a positive influence on my streams and has done positive contributions to feel upset or like they're not getting their fair shake. So, fair enough. Let me know what you're going through your head right now. Okay? Send it my way. I'm open. I'm an open doors to hear what you have to say. Oh, Survive Sweet Treat wants a sleepover. Well, you're not getting a sleepover. That's pretty too personal. As you know, I try not to mix my personal life with my streaming life anymore.
Yeah, it's not like you need somebody else fucking your wife.
I mean, there was a time when there was very much a crossover, but I don't really do that anymore for reasons that are very valid. People fucking with me over the years and hurting me and my family because I revealed personal info or mixed personal life with my streaming stuff. It wasn't streaming back then.
You mean begging for taxes, talking about you're going to lose your house, and that you, Catherine, and Jasper wouldn't have anywhere to go? And how you worked so hard for 12 years for your business? Like, that stuff's not too personal at all, right? Like, the guy's pretty much contributing to the house that he's, I'm sure jokingly, wants to have a sleepover in. Yeah, sure. Gotcha. Makes sense.
YouTube stuff, but
hint, hint, save the house.
You're not getting a sleepover. I think that's a little unrealistic. Okay? Suka Retelmasu, oh boy, cheered and said, unpopular opinion, I think stream snipers make your battle royale streams more interesting because they can strike at any time. What do you think? Let me put it this way. I don't mind getting stream sniped every once in a while. I don't. I think you're right. I think it's kind of a funny, silly thing. It adds an air of uncertainty to a battle royale stream or even a multiplayer stream. What I hate is when someone is such a fucking loser that they don't get the picture that, okay, you got your laugh, let Phil play now. You know what I mean? Like, a perfect example here.
In a battle royale, like, the point is to kill you. Or to dispatch you, if you will. Let's say that. So, who cares if it's a stream sniper or not? Like, if your reflexes and your reactions are on point, then you should be able to dispatch that person rather quickly. Surprise or not. Or at least you can actually engage in a gunfight. I've seen some of your gunfights in PUBG as well as Blackout. You're shooting at nothing. You're literally shooting at nothing. You can sit there and try to blame... Oh, excuse me, that's the editor. But you can blame whoever you want. But either way, you're still losing.
They come into my match once or twice or even three times. Okay, enough is enough. Now let Phil actually play legitimately. No, we're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep fucking doing it over and over and over. It's just like that fucking stupid Rumpelstiltskin guy or whatever the fuck his name is, right? That's his name? Rumpelstiltskin or... Rugal Diapers or whatever the hell his name is. I don't know what the hell his name is. The guy who starts with an R, Rugal something. And whenever I play Street Fighter now, Street Fighter 2, this guy, if he's available, literally will stalk him.
He's talking about Rugal Bernstein. He's talking about EVILAJ. But I thought you said that you were learning so much by playing him with certain matchups and stuff. Now all of a sudden he's a brain dead loser? Like, Street Fighter is all about competition. And he's clearly better than you. So wouldn't you want to play the best players possible to get better? You know what you sound like, Phil? You sound like some of these people, and don't be wrong, I kind of agree with it to an extent, like who play Call of Duty and who are really tired of the skill-based matchmaking, which I think is actually kind of garbage, by the way. So I'm not completely shitting on these people when I say that. But really, some of the YouTubers, the ones who like the pub stomp a lot, and who used to, and back in the day, you thought they were really good at it until skill-based matchmaking kind of got inserted in, and then all of a sudden, those 100+ gameplays only turned into like 40 or 30. It's kind of like that. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't like skill-based matchmaking because, one, hand-holding people through Call of Duty is stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're never going to get better like that. You're really not. Having a mixed pool where you have some people that are shitty, you have some people that are you got some people that are good, you have some people that are beasts, and then you got people that are savages. Having that mixed batch, it teaches you how to be a better player. It teaches you how to react to situations and whatnot. Skill-based matchmaking doesn't necessarily do that, because after a while, you're just going to be stuck in there with other killers. And even after a while, that starts to become dull. That's why people derank themselves all the time and shit. Street Fighter is the same. He deranked himself a couple of times too in Street Fighter. That's the reason why he was playing more casual than ranked. Same concept though. But if you're playing a game like that, you should want to play against better players, because that's how you're going to get better. But Phil don't want that. He wants to still have this air of superiority sometimes, and he doesn't want to play the same people who are going to hand him his ass because he thinks that's not fun. Then stop playing Street Fighter altogether. You can't just sit there and play against a bunch of noobs and think you're being special because you can pull something off against them that you couldn't pull off against somebody who's of your skill level or better. There's nothing fun about that. That seems egregious in a lot of ways. Having it maybe every once in a while, so be it. But having it all the time, no. How would it be fun for you to play Street Fighter? It doesn't matter what version you're playing, and you beat everybody you play. You're not learning anything like that. All you're going to do is blow your head up and think that you're better than you really are. And then when you finally face someone who's better, you go into your low-tier god rants. It's not productive. But that's what Phil wants. So you're mad because EVILAJ hands you your ass. If you were learning something, maybe you'd be better.
So at first, it was he would sit there in ranked matches and be the only guy in rank. So then I would do player matches, and the guy would always join my matches in player matches. So I said, okay, I can't get away from Rugal Diaperhead or whatever his name is. So I'm just going to try to do lobbies instead. So for the past couple of weeks, I think it was like 3 weeks now, I just started doing random lobbies.
Now, this is a grown-ass man, by the way, bitching about another man, and then bringing his inner child into it by calling him names. Now, don't get me wrong, you say the same thing. I call him an asshole, an idiot, this, that, and the third. But Rugal Diaperhead? Is this what we're going back to lowbrow comedy again, right? Is this supposed to be funny? Is this supposed to be amusing? I thought he wasn't a children's entertainer. Just throwing it out there.
Look at people who had lobbies, and I would say, oh, look, Rugal Diaperhead's not here, so let's just go in this lobby and play these random people.
So, okay, so the one guy that can hand me my ass and embarrass me, he ain't here, so let me go ahead and beat these scrubs up to get my confidence up. Oh, shit, that's pathetic.
Reality, I think it worked out better, because in reality, now I play a variety. It used to be I just played like Super Turbo and Third Strike, and that was it. But now I'm joining these lobbies where people want to play all the games. And so I'm playing Alpha 3, I'm playing Third Strike, I'm playing Hyper Fighting as well as Super Turbo. I'm doing more variety in the fighting games that I'm playing when I do those.
So why didn't you do that from the beginning then? Or why didn't you mix it up and do that early on? Why does it have to be now that you're trying to duck people that all of a sudden, oh, I got variety now, guys. We can do it this way now. Because now, you know, because I don't want to play this guy no more. Or I'm tired of this guy beating me. So now we're going to do this so I have variety. Why wait till now to do all this? Why is it that you have to wait till your back is against the goddamn wall to do something different?
I think that's a good thing, and it's actually more fun for replayability. Plus, it challenges me because I'm not very good at Alpha 3 at all. I'm pretty shitty at it, so it's pretty hard to win when I'm playing Alpha 3. So that's a good thing, right? But now this fucking guy, again, Stream Sniper, thinks, oh, well, Phil's gonna have fun without me. I'm gonna harass him. So now he tries to find me in the lobby, and with me playing a couple matches in the lobby, he'll join the lobby and he'll try to hog the lobby. And then if I leave, okay, I don't want to play in that lobby, I'll leave.
Hog the lobby? Oh, is there not enough scrubs to go around, Phil? Is that what that is? That's what Phil. That's all right, Phil. You can tell me. You want me to make you some extra bacon real quick? I mean, even AJ was gonna come by later and shit, and we were gonna make ribs. But if you want, I'll go ahead and make some extra bacon for you right now. You want me to do that for you? Hog the lobby. Is that really what it was? There ain't enough scrubs to go around? Not enough people for you to beat up to build your confidence up? It's okay. It's alright. Matter of fact, I gotta go to the store and get some beer anyway. So, why don't you go ahead and lament on that? Okay? I'm gonna put some bacon on for you. I'm gonna run and get this beer. And then we'll be back. Alright, cool.
He'll go find me in another lobby and hog me down. It's like, dude, do you not understand? That's not trollish behavior. That's like mentally ill behavior. That's stalkerish, borderline fucked in the head, obsessive. So this is borderline stalkerish, fucked in the head behavior. Yet people who play Street Fighter exclusively, right, like pro players, for example, or even just well-known players and notable players, they deal with that online all the time, and yet they don't bitch and complain like this. Huh. So, with that being said, let me throw an analogy out at you. If it wasn't such a shitty port of Super Turbo, and if Phil would have actually had made, let's say he made top 3. Let's just try to revise history a little bit. If we went ahead and fast forward to where we're at right now, would he still be mad about the situation? Would he just played him, treat him like any other opponent, and that's it? It's not like it's just a lobby between just the two of them. There's like 3 or 4 or 5 other people in this lobby. So Phil saying that he's hogging the lobby. So what? Phil, you need to have the most wins? Maybe you should try harder. And even either which way, there's 3 or 4 matches at least in between you having to play him again, unless people opt out, which I'm sure that would happen. But yet again, you're choosing to play a competitive game. And you're choosing, and you say that there's not enough people out here who knows how to play the game at a high level, or at a professional level, if you will. But EVILAJ can. But yet you don't want to play him. So it's funny how he says all these people out here are scrubs, they don't know what the fuck they're doing, they're never going to get better, this, that, and the third, but now you have someone who can, who's viable competition, and you don't want to play him. Oh boy, sounds bitch made to me. Behavior. That's like not healthy. And the bottom line is, we know who the guy is that does it. He's the guy.
Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this is a video game online. This is not like they were in an arcade or something and EVILAJ pops up every night that Phil's at that arcade. It's online. It's online. And the pool for the collection that he's playing is small. It's pretty small. So just keep that in mind.
Guy who originally made the first major This Is How You Don't Play video. In reality, it was, what was it, Rich Super Rye or whoever who made the very first This Is How You Don't Play video. But he made the one for Metal Gear that caught on and ended up, or Metal Gear Solid, was it Metal Gear Solid 2? I don't even fucking know. But he made the very first one that went viral, okay? And he essentially has made his entire name on the internet off of making that This Is How You Don't Play video. He hasn't done a single other thing in his life that's been notable.
Are you going to talk about how you suppressed his video and he had to re-upload it? And since you're about to delve into this dude's personal life, what the fuck do you really know about EVILAJ? I mean, I know he used to be a former fan of yours, or he used to watch your shitty content, whatever. But how much do you actually really know about the individual? So how are you going to judge what he does online? And how do you judge what he's done online and translate that to what he does in real life? If that's true, if I look at everything you've done in the FGC, if I've looked at everything you've done online, then does that not just prove my point that you're an absolute fucking failure? And Evil AJ should be the CEO of some company or some shit? Because he's beaten you twice. Let's talk about this. Because now I'm feeling in a certain type of way. So, one, he's struck Phil twice. He has struck him twice. And if nothing else, he is probably one of the first. I'm not sure if I can say he is the first. But, I mean, I guess it's fair to say he's probably the first. He's the first person to strike Phil and cause him to bleed. I mean, really bleed. Like, bleed in a way that he can't shake it off. You know what I'm saying? That if you kind of get my point. And then he did it again, where Phil holds the majority of his pride, if you even think he has any, of his honor, of his legacy, and all that silly shit. Let me explain. This is how you don't play. Whether Evil AJ was the first one to do it or not, or whatever, he's the one who's the most well known for it, obviously. On top of that, he has inspired a whole generation of people that follow in his footsteps. Each one of them doing it, this is how you don't play, does it differently from the next person, giving it their own spin, putting their own creativity in it, giving you a portion of themselves. Every this is how you don't play that's out there, a portion of that, yeah, a portion of that. That sounds right. Yeah, a portion of that sounds fair. Is a tribute to him, to Evil AJ, for what he started, right? So that's the first thing. And Phil tried to suppress the first one. It ends up getting taken down. It ends up getting re-uploaded, and then it picked up where it left off. Phil can never do anything about that. Now he has a whole generation that spawned of other content creators who do it too. And each one gets better than the next. And he can't make any of that go away. He struck Phil where Phil needed to be struck the most, at his ego. And his ego was around this whole gaming shit, because this is back when he was supposedly white hot popular, or whatever the fuck that is, and where he thought he meant the damn. You gotta remember, ladies and gentlemen, the original lore is, if it wasn't for YouTube, he doesn't know what he would do. YouTube gave him purpose. YouTube made him feel special. It made him believe that people cared about him. He's not an orphan or anything, you know what I'm saying? Like, he has family, and at that time, he had friends, but YouTube made him whole. So, getting struck down through his gameplay, shitty gameplay, by the way, gameplay where he was probably drunk for the majority of that shit anyway, means nothing. It really don't. And that's what Evil AJ ended up displaying. It means nothing. It's garbage. You watching a This Is How You Don't Play sums up, at its very essence, at its core, at its nucleus, of what it is to watch a Phil playthrough of whatever game that is. And it hurts Phil because he knows it's true. That's where the first gut across the belly came about. I'm not done yet. Let's hit Phil in his second spot. His second underbelly, if you will. Soft spot. Which is funny because didn't they say that Italy back in World War II was the soft underbelly of Europe at that time? Because they were considered the weakest? Semantics. I'm just throwing that out there from a historical standpoint. I'm not actually making fun of anybody when I say that. I'm just asking for clarification. But since this guy right here, but now that I think about it, since this guy right here would choose his Italian heritage over his Polish heritage, well, you gambled and you lost. Anyway, let's talk about the second thing, and maybe, if nothing else, the actual crown jewel of Phil's existence. Online. The FGC. That 4th place finish at EVO, 2005. The #1 ranked Super Turbo player of that year. The thing that Phil cares about the most. Phil had to rewrite his legacy, if you will. He had to rewrite his history when it came to the FGC when he got ran out. YouTube allowed him to do that. So after he left the FGC, he was able to spout off that, I know what I'm talking about when it comes to fighting games. I was the #1 ranked Super Turbo player of such and such year. I've played against the best. He's beaten some of the best, even though he's not considered the best, nor is he considered great. Which is kind of crazy, too, now I think about it. Because he has a win over Justin Wong, Seth Killian, over a lot of people. Notable people, by the way. But he's not. They're all considered great. He's not. A lot of people don't even remember some of those wins, which are on YouTube. They're not suppressed. So, I'm just throwing that out there. he's beaten some of the best. He's never won an Evo. Yeah, he can talk about all the qualifiers that he won, but it's just a qualifier. When it was time to go to the big dance, you failed. So fuck a qualifier. What's that mean? So anyway, if you want to go ahead, if we're still handing out participation trophies, then so be it. But in actuality, that don't mean shit. What EVILAJ does is, I'm not saying that he did this with malicious intent, but if one was to look at the situation, what EVILAJ does is he strikes him even deeper. You go ahead and you take Phil's crown jewel accomplishment, the one thing that he always praised himself for, and you cut it down. And you do it piece by piece by piece. Now, I don't know how good EVILAJ was when he first met Phil or started, well, not met Phil, but when he started following Phil's content or any of that. I have no clue. What I can tell you is that if you look at some of their matches from the beginning till now, so it's going to be a hard look, but I'm pretty sure you can find most of it. EVILAJ has grown, has progressed, has evolved over those years. Phil didn't. He devolved. He digressed. He digressed. He failed. He got bad. Well, he got bad. His reactions left him. His reflexes left him. His knowledge isn't as expansive as he thought it was. He had his little 4 or 5 flow charts, if you will, failed him when enough pressure is put on him. He relies on cheese. He relies on cheap tactics. The very cheap, same cheap tactics, ladies and gentlemen, that he accuses other online players of doing. He was all right for his time, but his time has passed. EVILAJ proves that. And that's why he doesn't like playing against them. Imagine the 2 things that you held the most, that you had the most riding on. Your ego, your pride, your even self-worth, as pathetic as that sounds, is all tied into this game, or into these 2 little things online. And one man took all of that away from you. Not Sons of Kojima, not Tevin's fault, not any other detractor, not Slow Beef, not any of those dudes. One man took all of that from you. And you couldn't do anything to stop him. You were powerless. That's what hurts Phil more than anything. That's why we had all those EVILAJ rants leading up to this. This one man has made him powerless. And he can't do anything about it. And then the funny thing is in truth, he didn't even set out to do that. You allowed him to do that. When you think about This Is How You Don't Plays, Phil was one of the biggest people who hyped that up. That was all the free publicity EVILAJ ever needed, on top of the fact that the goddamn thing is a masterpiece. As it pertains to the FGC, he exposed you for what you were. A fraud. You were mediocre at best, but you had some moments. But you weren't able to capitalize on those moments because you weren't good enough. So be it. If I was Phil, I'd feel a certain type of way about that too. If I was so pathetic that I needed to ride my life on all that. If I had so much of my self-worth wrapped up in it. But just my opinion, of course. But, and to close my argument on that, it's funny how Phil said in the Axe the King or something, I've gone over it on that channel that I'm not supposed to speak about, that, oh shit, but, that he was afraid that EVILAJ may come to his house one day and try to murder him. But in actuality, I'm more scared for EVILAJ. Because EVILAJ, I think unintentionally ended up taking more from Phil than Phil could ever really imagine. I'm more scared for EVILAJ at this point. Just saying. We all know Phil isn't the most stable. DSP News.
On the internet, besides making that This Is How You Don't Play video. And in reality, people took his idea and over the years made many better videos than he ever did. And I think what it is like
that's called being a forefather. And it's not like he put a trademark or anything on it. That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to be expanded upon when something is put out, especially when it's something new. That's the point. That only solidifies his legacy. that actually gives him a true legacy, if you will. Because at the end of the day, yes, people have gotten better and better because people were able to add more and more to it. But at the end of the day, no one will ever forget EVILAJ for that and for what he's done. Sometimes it's not, I don't know if sometimes it's always good to be first, but certainly it was good for, but it's 50-50. Sometimes it's not good to be first, sometimes it is. You know what I'm saying? But someone had to do it. Someone had to be the trailblazer, if you will. And having his original video taken down, he kind of suffered for it. But he didn't let that discourage him. He continued to move forward. And that's what people respect. And because of that, that's why people want to continue it. See, he doesn't have so much riding on this shit like you do. See, a lesser person would be like, oh, they took his idea and they ran with it, and I'd be mad. But an actual trailblazer, you know what I'm saying, doesn't have to actually do that. You put it out there, and if people can make it better, so be it. Because it continues to drive the movement, which ends up driving the cause itself. And that's why there's a community behind it. I don't know how that's so hard to figure out, Mr. Valedictorian, but whatever.
No claim to fame. He has no way to be popular because in reality no one really cares about those videos anymore. They're kind of like old and stale and no one gives a shit about them anymore. So he has no way to get any kind of recognition anymore. So now he's like, well, I'm just gonna harass Phil and bother him constantly by doing online cheating strategies and shit in fighting games because I know he likes them, and this is a way.
You know what's funny? I never really thought about it like this, but I'm gonna do it now because why not? And then I could probably build upon it later. It's funny how Phil interprets the situation and then puts himself in EVILAJ's shoes and try to be like, this is probably why he thinks this, and this is why he does this, and this is why he does that. Not realizing that that tells more about you than him. And he's never figured that out. Like with that whole John and Howard thing that got your ass eaten up, basically. And both of those people hurt you. Same concept. When you were basically antagonizing both these guys to contact you again, and when they weren't, you came up with all these excuses on why they couldn't do it. And then when they came out and dispelled it, it made you look like an asshole. Maybe, just maybe, you shouldn't try to anticipate what other people are doing or assume what they're doing. Maybe you shouldn't do that because maybe that tells you more about, it tells more about your character than the opposition. And I say that for you, Phil, because you're not very smart. So, I mean, it is what it is. Because I would be a bit hypocritical because I anticipate a lot of your shit too. Then again, a lot of it happens. But you tend to be blatantly wrong in these situations. And you look like a fucking ass clown. And then it also exposes the things that you care about most. Being popular. Having financial benefits that come out of it. Being praised. All these things that are really just important to you. I don't know. I guess that's just me assuming.
Him and get a rise out of him, so at least I feel like I get some kind of human interaction that's worth a shit, because I can't get any other interaction because no one will care about him if he ever made another one of those fucking videos ever again. So I mean, that's just like awful. Just think about how miserable this guy's life has to fucking be. In 2012 or whatever it was, right? This guy made this video, this one video that got him recognition.
2012 or whenever it was. Oh boy. Like I said just a second ago, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of this tells you, I think, it's telling more about what Phil is thinking than it does for EVILAJ. Because Phil's got the date down. I'm surprised he didn't even tell you the month it came out. But you can tell how this has cut him. And it's cut him straight to the marrow. For sure. And after all these years, 2012, we still can't let go of that. Oh my.
Everyone else on the internet stole his idea and did it better than him to the point where no one cared about him making those videos anymore. And now the only way he can even get any entertainment is by trolling me on a fucking Street Fighter stream. Like, my God, what a sad fucking state, right? But that's what I mean is like, that's the difference between, oh, if you stream snipe someone once or a couple times during a stream, it's funny, it's fun. All right, now let the guy have a stream. No. I keep doing it, and I keep doing it, and it's harassment. It gets to the point where it's systematic, fucked up harassment because you're fucked in your head, and you think that you're getting something out of doing it. So, you know, it's pretty messed up.
To also touch on one more point about how everybody who's against him is mentally ill, yet again, that exposes an aspect of himself. Just saying. Because there are plenty of people who deal with plenty of bullshit online. And not all of them go to the mentally ill route. And most of them who do, well, you end up finding out what happens with that later. In some way, shape, or form. But Phil has done this for years. For years, he's called people mentally ill. Or they've got problems in the head. That's one of his first go-to things. And he's been doing that for years. He didn't just start that. He's been doing that. Something to think about.
I'm okay with everyone having a lighthearted trolling every once in a while, or having some stream sniping or whatever. I'm not for people's entire fucking streams being ruined by a fucking stalking shithead who literally has no life and no fucking feeling of self-worth, that the only way they can feel good about themselves is to harass someone on a fucking gameplay stream. That's fucking insanity to me. There's so many other productive, positive things you can do with your life, and all you can do is a negative thing. That's the only way you get any kind of fucking feeling of value in your life. That's fucked. You got problems.
I mean, like you bitching and complaining about people who are more successful than you. Also, you begging for money day in, day out, and talking about all your bills and all your taxes that you didn't pay, and basically how incompetent you were. And then also going even further than that, talking about how you used to be white hot popular and how you had made all this money and now none of it exists anymore. And that's supposed to make you feel any better or make you look any better as a person? Any of that? But people are mentally ill for pointing that stuff out. The same stuff that you talk about almost on a daily basis. And how inconsistent it is. Just throwing that out there.
Go see a fucking psychiatrist. Okay, everybody. One final reminder, guys, because I do want to bring this up because a few people sadly violated this rule on the earlier stream. Again, there is no... we don't allow people to bring up drama, negativity, detractor memes, things that detractors are doing, that kind of stuff. We had a few people this morning who were referencing things on the stream that were negative things that all you're doing when you bring that stuff up on my stream is you're giving attention to the people who do it. That's exactly what they want. Okay? That's literally exactly what they want. That's why they're doing it. So when you bring it up on my stream, they see that, yes, I got a rise out of someone on Phil's stream, that you gave them a victory. All right? So I apologize. I had to moderate a few people earlier today who were bringing up negative stuff from outside the stream. You can't do it. All right? You can't. I apologize, but that's the rule. Okay? I got to lay down the law. It's just not allowed. All right? All right? Fair enough? Okay. Mrhuth, by you asking what the topics were, you are now going to violate the rules because you're bringing that stuff up. You can't do that. All right? Stop right now. We're trying to be nice, forewarn everyone. The bottom line is this curiosity is stupid about, you know, if you want to talk about that stuff, don't talk about it on a live stream. If you really feel something important I need to know, you could tweet me, you can email me at DarkSydePhil@hotmail.com. Talking about it on the stream is exactly what they want. And when you do, you give them that attention they're craving, which is why they keep acting like that. So please, no reference to any negative detractor stuff. Okay? Fair enough. Hooey. Alfonso tipped me $1. Said, I don't understand your hate for the black hole thing. What's the difference between a streamer watching the black hole and talking to chat and another streamer talking to their chat while a slideshow of fan art plays? The difference is I talk to people while a slideshow of fan art plays, and then I also play a game, and we have fun discussion based around the game, and the things that I do are productive. We're not just sitting here with our thumbs up our asses because one game is shut down, and we don't act like one game is the be-all, end-all of human existence like those people do.
Wait, so did you actually go into that stream or streams, because I know multiple streams did it, and actually listen to the conversation they had on it, or see the conversation they had in the chat? You do realize they still had a chat, right? And you do realize that they were conversating. You do get that, yeah? You think you playing a game makes you any more special than when you go off on some rant and you put the controller down to bitch and complain about whatever? You think your life has any more meaning than a bunch of people who are talking about a game that they really enjoy and are having conversations about, well, what's going to happen next? I mean, what's... If that's how they get their enjoyment, that's how they get their enjoyment. But for you to basically imply that they're brain dead idiots, and what? Should they have gone to your stream and see what DarkSydePhil's doing on Dragon Quest Builders? How long you been playing this game? For months? And you still ain't got shit finished yet? Like, you're supposed to be the point of entertainment? Silly motherfucker.
So they'll probably be staring at that black hole literally until the game comes back, because they have absolutely no ability to create any kind of content except one single fucking game. They're one-trick ponies, and people who stare at that shit are dumb as fuck that they don't turn it off and say, I'll come back when the game comes back. You have to be a moron. So I'm sorry, it's just the truth. People come and hang out with me because I'm doing interesting stuff. If I just sat here at the camera,
it's
like,
funny how you have the same brain dead idiots that, you know, just saying, Phil, since you want to go ahead and throw shit at other people's fan bases or whatnot, it can happen to you. So it's funny how you have the same brain dead idiots that come back and watch you over and over and over again and get shitted on and get treated like garbage, and none of them seem to be brave enough nor smart enough to actually stand up for themselves. And you want to sit there and say that, and you say that these other people are one-trick ponies because they only play one game. Yet the people who watch their game is much larger than yours, and you're supposed to be a variety streamer, but yet the same people keep watching you. You're not actually able to bring anybody new in. You're not bringing in any new blood. You're just draining the same people over and over again. They're virtually useless, to be honest. But yet these people right here are idiots because they want to sit here and have a conversation about something that they've devoted a shitload of time to, and that they're actually excited about. Like anybody's going to sit there for the whole 24 hours and watch it. I know there were streams that were running around the clock for that so they could see what the animation was going to be or whatever the case was going to be when it gets reestablished. I can kind of get that. But I doubt anybody sat there and just watched all of that. It seems kind of silly. But like I said, I do know there was a lot of streams that were running it. Yet again, the point being is, who the fuck are you to sit there and insult those people? If they want to just go ahead and do that, then so be it. They should just go ahead and do that. Just like, where the fuck do I get off calling the people who watch you brain dead idiots for watching you, a perpetual failure, fail at a variety of different games and consider that entertaining? I have no right than you do, to be honest. If that's how people want to waste their time, then let them waste their time. But see, you take that shit to a whole nother level, and then you wonder why you don't have any organic growth. You're wondering why you can't bring any new people in, and you wonder why you've only made $2 and throughout your pre-stream and as well as the first part of this stream. Just saying.
This all day. I wouldn't expect anyone to tune in. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't expect a single person to tune in. Oh, look, a black hole. I'm doing interesting stuff. That's why you're tuning into me. You like me as a person. You want to hear my reactions to interesting stuff. Not staring at a black hole for 2 days because I have no fucking talent and all I do is play one game. That's the difference.
I don't see those people begging for money every day, though. So they must have some talent somewhere.
Okay. Alrighty. Oh, I'm doing fine tonight, Vincent. Thank you for asking. Looks like we don't have any mods here. So what
Oh, look, this is entertaining. Looking at the black hole, which is DarkSydePhil, and his chat while he's leaning in manual banning. Imagine that. Very entertaining. Riveting, if you will. It's been a while since I've said that. Riveting content. Absolutely. Much better than watching a black hole.
I am going to put the stream chat into a followers only mode for a very relatively short period of time, just to avoid anyone who just made a brand new account and didn't follow me from being trolls, because we just had a couple of them. So we'll take care of that quickly.
Yeah, do what you can to protect your hug box. It's time well spent. People are entertaining and they like you and they want to hear your opinions on interesting stuff, right, Phil? Because they consider that you're interesting, right? But yet we have to put everybody in follower only mode. Sure. Sure.
Kabloober tipped me $1 and said, the black hole's pretty avant-garde. How would you feel if more games had events like this for their patches, additions, and seasons? He's talking about Fortnite. Honestly, I think the idea of the black hole is actually an interesting one and a smart one. The fact that
it wasn't smart a little while ago, but okay, let's hear him out.
For almost 2 days, people are staring at this fucking black hole with nothing to do because they're brainless idiots and mouth-drooling morons is something else. But the idea of having that an active thing during a patch time or whatever, I think actually is a cool idea. I actually like the idea. It's a marketing scheme, it's a PR scheme, but it works. So there you go.
You mean like how you talked about bringing back Project 7 and you took, I don't know, somewhere between $6,000 and $7,000 for it and then didn't deliver? That was a marketing scheme too, right? And all those guys are kind of brain dead idiots for buying into something that they should have known wasn't going to actually happen, right, Phil? Just, they fell for the marketing scheme. They were sheep. Just throwing it out there.
Polish Frog asked, do I think Fortnite would be as virally popular as it is if it didn't have cartoony art style that appealed to kids? No, I think there's many factors that made it the perfect game to appeal for kids. First of all, it's fucking free to play. So every kid under the sun can buy it, meaning it's free to get so you don't have to pay for it, so they all have it. When everyone has something, regardless if it costs money or not, so everyone has something, there's a commonality about it that makes it more popular. So, all my friends are playing Fortnite free, I want to play it too. Now, maybe because of that later on, you'll sink money into having the prestigious skins or whatever, but the game is free, therefore, it's popular. In addition, yes, the cartoony graphics and all of that are a huge reason why. Absolutely. Spawn Killer sent me $1 asking how
there are plenty of free-to-play games out there that aren't nearly as popular as Fortnite. That's the first thing. Secondly, there are games that are AAA releases that have been around way longer than Fortnite and have had that same type of effect on people. Call of Duty is a good example. What do you have to say about that? You can't sit there and say it's because it's free to play. There's a bunch of games that are free to play. And there's a shitload of them that aren't popular. Or they're not as popular, if you will. So that's the thing. I think it's easier to get into than he's willing to admit. And because he can't perform, ask Catherine that, he just can't compete. I think that's one of the things. And also, for someone, ladies and gentlemen, who's perpetually broke all year round, wouldn't it be a godsend for him to play a game that's not only free to play, but that is also virally popular? Wouldn't that only make sense from a business standpoint? Oh, I guess DSP Enterprises didn't think that far out. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm just wondering.
Chicken cacciatore for dinner that we just had. It was good. It was the first time Kat had ever made the recipe. What I would say is two things. Number one, we both agreed it was a little on the blander side and we wish that we had put more spice, like more red pepper and stuff in it. The other thing was we didn't put enough peppers, the vegetable pepper. Typically chicken cacciatore has a decent amount of peppers. This one only had a few pieces per, few bites. So we were like, damn, next time we do it, more spice, more peppers. But outside of that, it was quite tasty. So it was a good dinner. And we want to make it.
She didn't cook it. She didn't cook that. She didn't make that. She cooked it. She heated that up. I'm calling that shit right now. She did not make that. She just cooked it. Because the way he's describing it sounds like something that came out of the freezer. Sorry. It sounds like something that is perfectly proportioned to a family of people or to a set number of people. And so in turn, there's just enough pieces of chicken as well as some of the extras to go with it. As well as the seasoning part. They played it safe when it's being mass produced over if you made it on your own. Now, we could throw in the caveat that, hey, it was her first time making it. She wasn't sure. Phil don't like spicy food or whatever the case may be, so maybe he didn't want a lot of pepper, whatever. Or he didn't want a lot of seasoning as well. Fair enough. And I can agree with that to an extent. But I'm going to go with my take on that. That's what I'm going to do. Because that's what it kind of sounds like.
Again, in the future with some tweaks. Okay. Shout out to Captain K-Man who did a 200-bit cheer that actually gifted emotes to 3 others in chat. Congratulations to those who got gifted emotes. Thank you, Captain K-Man. You are actually the first cheer of the night. I've been streaming for over 40 minutes and you're the first cheer of the night. So thank you for that. It's been very slow today. Even the Mega Man stream earlier was incredibly slow. So thank you for that. I appreciate it, man. All right. Alright, very nice. In fact, just to give, wow. To give some perspective, the cheering leaderboard reset today, and half the leaderboard's a tie for 100 bits. It's like 5, 6, 7 people are tied for 100 bits today, which is pretty ridiculous. Okay. Polish Frog says, I hope you've never driven a vehicle while under the influence. When I was young and stupid, I did. When I was young and stupid, some days I would go out after work. And this, by the way, this is the early 2000s, so we're talking almost 20 years ago. But I would go out after work, after a day of hard work, we'd go out to a bar, or like a TGI Fridays, we'd have a few drinks, and then I would drive home like an idiot. Which you should never do, and I haven't done that in a very long time. That's very bad to do. Shout out to an anonymous $10 tipper. Thank you very much.
So what happened, Phil? Are you one of those individuals who got smart and realized, you know what? Instead of me drinking with you guys and trying to convince you guys on how hard I work and you guys should pay for drinks, I'll just go ahead and pick up a couple of 1.75 liter Tanquerays on the way home and I'll just drink at home. I can see Phil doing that.
The anonymous $10 tipper. The stream tonight's been pretty slow.
Wow, you got the double thumbs up over $10. Jesus Christ. There's Twitch thoughts that have more dignity than that.
A lot. Thank you very much to whoever that may be. Let's get you up on the leaderboard here and add that to the total fix. I appreciate that very much. Okay. Polish Frog asks, do I ever get tired of reading so many subtitles? Honestly, yeah, I do. I do get tired of it, but it's worth it. For my blind viewers, for those who are doing other stuff, and they can't be staring here at the dialogue all day, they listen to me in the background of stuff, it's worth it. Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, shit. Okay. All right, buddy. Oh, shit.
Choose your fighter.
LAKEY inspired.
Fight.
For my blind viewers, that was good. Shouts out to Super Blind Man, I guess. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So what do we take from all this? I personally think PlanetJeff got fucked, but since PlanetJeff ended up getting doxxed, to my understanding, not long after this, good job, Phil, with putting him out there. Just like how you put out all of those people on Twitter that one time. I got a screenshot of that somewhere, but I'm not going to do it because their names and their full names, everything are on there. But when you put out all those people on Twitter over your Streamlabs situation, you remember that, right, Phil? When you doxed all those people who gave you money, full names and everything, on Twitter, when you were trying to get a hold of Streamlabs support on Twitter and shit to try to figure out what was going on. I remember that too. Good stuff. Anyway, PlanetJeff, I think he got fucked. Contributions are extra slow. Do I think he is rather ungrateful in what he has received? Absolutely. I could say that for the majority of his life, to be honest. I think the Evil AJ thing was funny. I think the Evil AJ thing was kind of sad in the fact that even as I was saying it, I was starting to come to the realization on how much Evil AJ has really affected Phil in a way that I don't think anybody else really can. I think at the end of the Phil anime / manga, you're gonna find that it was the people who you think have the most influence over Phil are not who you think they are, to be honest. Phil is trying to pick a flavor of the day. He's trying to villainize other people, mainly Tevin, to be honest, but trying to villainize other people who he perceives as popular. But being popular is one thing, but being influential is another. And that is something that, and as popular and as influential as Tevin is, even Tevin will admit that Evil AJ has him beat on that. This isn't a popularity contest, because we're not that petty over here. Or at least, well, I can only speak for myself, but I would say that we're not that petty over here. Over there on Phil's side of it, I couldn't tell you. Either which way, as I've actually started to think about that a little bit, that's pretty sad. Because Evil AJ did cut him deep, and Phil just never recovered. It never healed properly. And so we have a 37-year-old man ranting about another man over something that should have been let go back in, what, 6 or 7 years ago? Crazy shit. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. And I'll see you guys for the next broadcast, whenever that may be. hopefully sooner than later. And just take care of yourselves, guys. I mean, just take care of yourselves. Seriously. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Snort Report Special Edition, and this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG Networking Productions. For the Snort Report, I am your host, /anchor GTG, and I'm signing off. Take care of yourselves, guys. End the broadcast.
Choose your fighter.
Lakey inspired.
Fight.